There's a couple reasons why I think Transformers has been able to stay relevant for 25 years. The first is its ability to constantly reinvent itself to be relevant to the kids of that age. The fact that we have reinvented our characters so many times over time, I think it almost becomes exciting to see what Optimus Prime is going to look like in the next iteration.
We don't want to give them the same thing twice. We want them to recognize their heroes and their characters, and clearly Optimus Prime is Optimus Prime and Bumblebee and Starscream and Megatron. You know, you have to have certain elements that are kind of iconic and that continue forward so that people can recognize characters, especially young people who aren't as familiar with all the different iterations of Optimus Prime over the many years. But having said that, you also want to reinvent it, because people want to see those characters take on all kinds of different shapes and looks and be able to have and possess different powers.
The other part of it is the passion of the fans, is that that really helped kind of bridge the two worlds together when the first movie came out, as you had all these new kids that were getting into the brand for the first time because of the impact that the movie had and the ability to showcase the story on this massive scale. But it also crossed generations, where you had, you know, adults that possibly had kids that were getting back into Transformers again for the first time because they were going back and reliving their childhoods all over again and seeing the magic of what they saw in a cartoon and a toy line in the 80s, seeing that brought to life again.
So we want to take advantage of that evolution that's happening in this film and put that in the toy line, and put that in the product line, and put that in the video game so that people can go play right along with that as they're enjoying whatever tangible amusements they're playing with based on the movie.
The one thing that does set Hasbro apart from a lot of other companies is the passion of its employees. We typically bring in people that have a general interest in the things that we produce as a company, and it shows in the workmanship that we have in our product. It shows in our marketing. A lot of the team members have been around on the Transformers brand for 5+ years, and so we've all been there, you know, before the movie, and we're here after the movie as well to help steer that ship and keep that consistency going.
There's not too many opportunities in the toy industry, particularly, that you get to work on something that meant something to you as a child. There's not too many brands that have that length, and because Hasbro is in the creation seat as well as the product design seat, we have to think about it logically and passionately so that it's around in another 25 years.
The 25th anniversary of Transformers is a really big deal for us, especially from a personal standpoint. Most of the designers on the team are of the age where we grew up with this. You know, we're the same age as the fans that are out there now. It's really special to be a part of it now, 25 years later, after growing up with playing with these same characters and same toys.
If he said something like, you know, no one can beat Starscream, and then he said it again in like jet mode, it would make sense,
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, that's great.
I'm amazed every day when I see what we do, and when we get the first models that come in. It still blows me away today when I see the first gray model of any new Transformers toy that we do, of just the technical expertise that goes into making a toy like that.
I don't know if you've actually ever tried to unfold one of those things. It's just quite hard, and only kids can figure it out.
They're puzzles, and they can be very complex puzzles or very easy puzzles. The challenge with the movie designs clearly makes them complex puzzles. However, we work with a great partner in Takara Tomy, and have for 25+ years. They bring a great skill set, and the designers here bring a great visual skill set along with the knowledge of how to move parts. We make it work.
When we take a look at the challenges that laid ahead of us when we first did the product for the first movie, we looked around at each other saying, how are we going to do this? How do we make that robot look like that vehicle? And you look at the first movie line and it looks tremendous. Then we see the same character done for movie 2, and it looks, you know, twice as good because of how well they were able to take the learnings of what happened with the first toy and turn that into the next version. I think one of the easiest ones to take a look at is our Optimus Prime toy from our leader assortment, which is one of our bigger toys. The first one I thought was tremendous, and now the movie 2 version is like, it feels like it's light years ahead of the first one just because of how they continued to really better themselves every single time out.
You know, at first we would joke around that the filmmakers had at their advantage the movie magic, and that, you know, for us it was the mechanical transformations actually had to all work, that the volume of a robot had to be that same volume of course, the car at the very end. But in fact, if you look at the first movie and then you look at where Michael's taken it in the second movie, he stays very true to the volumetric of the sort of what the character is.
They give me a huge license on creating all sorts of characters, from the wheelie character to the Reed Man to the little bugs. So it's really fun for our creative team, my robot designers, to have fun and create Transformer robots.
There's an iconic look of what they are because you still see a lot of the car parts in their robot modes, and that's what helps you identify that it's a Transformer. So all the parts that are on the exterior in the car mode or the jet mode, they have to go somewhere. And so I think we were able to get to a really good place where the studio did a great job of really bringing the characters to life and finding that way of how do you make a magical conversion on screen that has all the complexity that it has, and then have that allow Hasbro to be able to still make a magical toy that still replicates a lot of the great transformation that you do see in the movie.
So this next new toy line for Revenge of the Fallen has all of those specific elements. You see all the gears turning and all the things happening. So as this character is unfolding, you're really seeing that transformation.
I feel like we have a really good relationship with the Transformers fans. Every year, we have our annual Transformers convention called BotCon. We usually get between 2,000 and 4,000 or 5,000 people that show up to the convention every year, and this is our chance to talk face to face with our fans. Is really just interact on a personal level with truly the people that care the most about the brand outside of Hasbro.
Whether it's at BotCon or whether it's online or whether it's at Comic-Con, I can't say enough about the time and attention our team spends in hearing from the fans, in wanting to please the fans, because really, if you think about it, we are so grateful to them. They have stuck with this brand, through the really good moves we've made probably over time and some of the moves that they probably characterize as bad moves. We don't always get it right, but we always try to get it right.
I think that we've been able to really reach out to the fan audience and engage them in a way that we do get their feedback and we listen to where they would like to see the brand go. We clearly can't do everything that every fan would like to see, but we definitely listen to kind of where the general trends are going and try to give them what they want.
We're continuously checking the boards, the Transformers forums on the different various websites, just to get kind of the read of what they're thinking, what they like, don't like. More often, hopefully, what they like than anything.
They definitely are kind of the underground heartbeat of the brand. These are the guys that really kept the brand relevant in a pop culture way when the brand wasn't as big as it is today and when it wasn't as big as it was in the 80s. And so I think in many respects, what the movie has really done is kind of put them on the map, because everyone knows Star Wars and everyone knows Star Trek and some of these other properties that have a little bit longer of a heritage than Transformers does. And now that we've had our live action movie, it kind of, it was legitimization of who they are and that the passion that they have for this brand.
When we thought about this, and everyone, the team at Hasbro and myself included, what I wanted to be able to do here was to use the films to contemporize the brand and treat the brand in a whole new way, respecting kind of the core mythology. Don't break the basic rules of the brand. Because if we can keep the basic rules of the brand intact, then this can go on forever. Because more than meets the eye is not that different than what your mom would tell you when you're a little kid, don't judge a book by its cover. So it's this basic kind of core universal truth that then can be explored in so many ways. And what I really appreciate is that the filmmakers equally appreciate that. And that if you keep some of the basic rules of engagement around Transformers intact, you can then become even more contemporary. You can do even more dramatic things with the story because you have that underpinning that helps to hold it all together.